G'day Bomber fans. So obviously Jordan Ridley has suffered a low-grade quad strain. He will be missing for the first month or so of the 2024 season. In a recent interview he said it would be a few weeks after round 1. Usually with an injury like this you can expect, I don't know, I'm guessing 3 to 6 weeks, which from here would be around 3 or 4 or 5. I can't really do maths, that's for you guys. It's obviously not great news because it means we have to replace Jordan Ridley, who is, in my opinion, our joint most important player with Zach Merritt. And really, that's what this video is about. Who we're going to replace Jordan Ridley with and just how we're going to replace him in the team. So let's go through the options. Before we do go through the players that we could replace him with, I just want to talk about Ridley and what makes him such an important member of the team, because some people don't know. Kane Corns, for example, thinks that Harry Jones and Nate Caddy are more important members than Jordan Ridley. So for starters, Ridley is a solid defender. You can rely on him to be the one out on most oppo forwards and at least break even when doing so. First things first, Ridley is solid. We saw it when BZT was a liability. When Hawkins had BZT covered, it was Ridley who moved on to him. Same goes for some other matchups that got on top of BZT. But the reason he doesn't already do a job on those guys is because Ridley's best asset is his intercepting game, his ability to read the play and the flight of the ball and come off his man to impact other contests. It's what got him a Crichton Medal in 2020 and an All-Australian squad spot. He is elite in that regard, especially when he has teammates who can play a role on bigger forwards reliably, like Ben Mackay, who's just come to the club. So this was always going to be a big year for Ridley and his attacking game. The great thing about Ridley compared to other intercept defenders is that his ball use is genuinely incredible as well. He is our most reliable kick down back, bar Nick Martin, who is there now. But Ridley also acts as that general down there who can allow Martin to roam forward now, knowing there is a capable user and defender back there if the ball comes the other way. Realistically, this defense doesn't really function without Ridley. I liken it to Sicily at Hawthorn. They can't really win without him, and we saw that when he went down with a quad injury against the Dogs last year. After that point, we were woeful down back in so many ways. Leaky and unable to progress forward. He is crucial in so many ways to this team. So who do we replace him with? Well, my first option is Jayden Laverde, who is likely to be in the best 22 or 23 anyway, but replacing Ridley directly with Laverde gives us a reliable defender who won't leak. He is experienced, he is strong in his body, he is smart with his body. He isn't your attacking backman who can give us drive from defense in the air with good ball use, but what he gives you is non-stop effort and genuine lockdown capabilities. He has long been an undersized key back who was tipped to play more of a general defensive role in 2024 on smaller forwards, which he had said he prefers in recent interviews, but I think he is a reasonable option to replace the injured Ridley early, solely because we can rely on him to play a role on a forward like Jack Gunston, a third tall, while Mackay and Reed deal with the Choles and Mitch Lewis type forwards. Laverde is over 190 centimeters tall, very strong, athletic, and now he isn't known for his ball use as I said before, and he isn't going to be able to impact other contests like Ridley does, making our defense less reliable from that viewpoint, but you can rely on Laverde himself to play on a role on his direct opponent. At the very least, he will make life hard for them. The issue then comes with who do we bring into our defense to manage the general forwards and act as that in-between defender that Laverde would have been if he wasn't replacing Ridley. That's another question, but Laverde replacing Ridley, that wouldn't be a bad shout for me. The second option for Scott would be to keep Laverde as that versatile, small and tall defender and bring in Nik Cox. Now, the issue here is the fact we don't really know what we can get from Cox for an extended period of time yet. There were times he looked good in 2023 back there, kind of roaming around a bit looser in the back line with more freedom to move, and I think that's pretty similar to the role he would play if he came back to replace Ridley. He split time between wing and defense 50-50 in practice games, but I think if he did play round 1, he would be mostly defense to cover the loss of Ridley. He would give us some class out of defense. He can use both feet, he is an aerial threat, long arms, can spoil well, versatile as well. He can shift around if need be, up forward on a wing in the ruck, gives you flexibility around the ground. The issue is, well, there are a few issues, but one, maturity. He is not really who you want to rely on as a key defender. 2, it gives us 3 very tall defenders, almost ruckmen really, and that could be dangerous against a team like Hawthorn, who have Nick Watson, Jack Ginnivan, Luke Bruce, Dylan Moore, and also the Swans the week after as well, who have just as lethal down on ground level. It worked last year with Cox, well, it didn't really work last year, but it looked manageable at times last year with Cox down there because he was joined by Laverde and Zerk Thatcher amongst others, but Reed and Mackay and Cox is a backline that would be frankly too tall for my liking, even though Cox is a movable chess piece and Well, the problem is we don't even see the best of Cox regularly enough for that to be a threat. In my opinion, he isn't even in the best 22, so replacing Ridley would be the reason he would play if he did. I personally prefer the idea of Laverde though. And finally, really because there are no other options, Baldwin is obviously injured, but Lewis Hayes, I know some would have put his name down in the comments below if I didn't talk about him. Now, I do like the look of Hayes. You can tell he has bits and bobs to his game that would certainly help the team, but frankly, he is far too young and immature. There may be bits that help us, but that age, looking that lean, I think he is just not ready yet in my eyes. That could change, obviously, but for now, I would rather him play in the VFL. He is he's at the bottom of the pecking order. That is about it, though. Unfortunately, there isn't much key defensive depth, which, to me, raises the importance of Ridley and Mackay in this squad even more. They kind of have to stay fit if we want success in the next few years, because after them, the next best options are guys that don't really play in their position that much. It speaks a lot to our key back stocks. Definitely something we need to work on for the future. Let me know what you think down below, though. How do you think we replace Jayden Ridley in the coming weeks? It's a really tough one. It's hard to even answer. I would love to hear your guys' takes on it, though. Quick video today. That's all. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and go Bombers.